Yo, Wagwan, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great morning and that. I am recording this in the morning, so if you're watching this at night, I hope you're having a great night, innit? I'm Jay Cartere from growingyoutube.com, teaching you how to be better at YouTube marketing, online business, and music production. And in this video, I want to talk about why you hate capitalism and why you are very, 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 very wrong. Now, I don't want this to be, a video of me like dissing you and telling you how terrible you are. That's not what this is. Although I know that this video is going to get a lot of hate because that's just the, that's just the way it is, isn't it? Like, people are going to disagree with this, so they are going to dislike and all that sort of stuff. So I'm expecting that, but I know that this information is so important and it's so necessary for me to get out there that I don't mind taking on that hate, because it is what it is, isn't it? I can either keep my opinions to myself and keep this information to myself and just watch everyone else wallow in pity and be upset for the life that they live in, or I can help and push out this information and help show you that there's another path. Now, I'm not going to be specifically talking about the tenets of capitalism and the tenets of like socialism and communism and all that sort of stuff. I want to talk about the two big reasons. I do have my notebook. I want to talk about the two big reasons why I see people disagreeing with capitalism and saying how capitalism is terrible and how we should change it and how we should move to like socialism or communism or something like that. And I want to basically tackle both of these reasons and give you my perspective on this issue, because I think my perspective will be very interesting as someone who came from poverty and has been able to create a full-time income for myself from what I want to do, like doing the stuff that I want to do online and stuff. I think this is very interesting. Like, I've been able to build my own business and that sort of stuff. So I think having this information come from me is better than coming from someone whose parents took care of them or something like that, which is, great if your parents take care of you. Like, if your parents left you some sort of inheritance or they pay your bills, that is great. Use that to your advantage. That is lovely. But know that we're living a different life, innit? We're definitely living a different life because I had to go get it out of the mud, innit? But let's get into it. There's two big reasons why people hate capitalism. The first big reason is one that I see very, very common, very, very common. And this is the main reason. And sometimes this is the reason that people have, but they try and disguise it as the second reason. So let me reveal that to you. The big reason that I feel most people, this is based on no stats whatsoever, but I feel most people oppose capitalism is because they are failing at capitalism. Capitalism isn't working for them. They aren't getting what they want out of capitalism. They have tried it. They have no other option, because capitalism is what it is. It is the system that we are living under. If you live in the Western world, if you're able to watch this, I don't know, you might live in a place without capitalism that has enabled you to watch this. I don't know, I haven't really been to those countries, innit? But my thought on it has always been, if you don't like capitalism, go move to a communist country, innit? Go move to North Korea or whatever. See how great stuff is around there and see how quickly you want to come back to the capitalist society. But yeah, a lot of people, they are failing at capitalism. It's not working for them, basically. They're not where they want to be. They're not achieving what they want to achieve under this society, I don't know, under this economic structure. So they want to change it to something else. And there are some people who are just lazy, but that's also, you'll fail if you're like just super lazy, innit? So that all operates under one banner. And then the second reason, because I know there are people saying, I'm not lazy, I'm not a failure, like, I don't like capitalism, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there is another reason. Like, that wasn't the only reason. The second reason, as I said before, is compassion. Like, some people are just like, they see how capitalism has inequality and they want there to not be any inequality. They want everyone to be able to be equal and everyone to basically have the same stuff in it. So I understand that. I understand people who are coming from that perspective. But again, a lot of people who are coming from the compassionate perspective are people who have never had to actually come up through poverty and grinding out in the hood and dealing with the sorts of experiences that we actually have to deal with. So those people are generally disconnected from the actual issue. I'm here to speak on an issue that I've been able to solve for myself, and I'm trying to help other people around me solve it for themselves as well. And I think as a community, the more education we have, the more information we have, the better we are going to be able to help the people around us, help the community, build financial freedom, build financial institutions that enable us to live better and create better futures for ourselves and our children and all that sort of stuff. So let's get into it. I want to talk about some of these facets of why people hate capitalism and why I believe they're wrong and what I think you should do instead. Because this isn't just going to be a takedown video and say, yo, capitalism's great, enjoy it, bitch. That isn't what we're doing here. Yeah, I want to also give you some helpful advice to move you to where you need to be. Because the fact is, you live under capitalism. Most people who are watching this anyways. But if you live under capitalism, that's life, innit? Like, you can sit around and moan about it and be like, yo, I hate capitalism, we should change this, blah, blah, blah. Chances are that's not going to happen, innit? Chances are that's not going to happen. You can moan for the next 50 years, you're still going to be living under capitalism. So it's either you sit around and moan about it and hope that things change, or you adapt to the reality of life and you basically play the game, because you need to learn how to play the game and learn how to win at the game of capitalism, and then you'll realize it's not as bad as some people are making it out to be. But if you do feel that you have a great argument to why capitalism is terrible, and you can actually communicate that in a way that's not just being toxic and super negative and trying to attack me, then leave a comment down below. I really do want to engage in that discussion. If you've got a different point of view and you've got reasoning to back it up, I'm really super interested in that. I'm very open-minded and I'm willing to hear you out. So definitely do that. But I grew up poor. I grew up in the hood. My mum is on let's be real, my mom was on benefits, which if you're like in the US, I think they call it welfare. So I believe in capitalism and I believe in aspects of socialism within capitalism. I believe that as an overall society, capitalism and the way that we've set it up is pretty good, to be honest, because it gives us the opportunity to make it out of poverty. And we also have social systems that help us through the government sometimes that help us stay alive and stay out of terrible situations, basically. But we'll come back to that later, because like the flaws that we have right about now in capitalism, for example, like just dealing with the government and having to rely on them for anything, those flaws will be much bigger if we give the government more power and say, hey, government, take care of us, which I think would be the stupidest thing ever, but we'll talk about that in a bit. We're not going to there right about now. So I grew up poor. I didn't see many opportunities around me. I didn't see what was possible. All I was told is you go to school, you go to college, maybe, because most of my siblings didn't really go to college, but they wanted me to go to college. You go to school, you go to college, and then you go get a job, innit? And the thing is, yeah, employees are screwed under capitalism. You are screwed, yeah? Capitalism is not for employees. If you are an employee and you feel that capitalism is terrible, it's because you're an employee. The game's rigged against you, straight up. Because you're trading your time for money, which is just terrible, because it's just bad overall. You're going to be doing that for basically the rest of your life. And like, how much do you believe your time is really worth? But that's a completely different thing. But like, the reason why people go to employment is for that sense of security, you know, to know that they're going to get a certain payment at the end of the month or at the end of your 2 weeks or however you're being paid. You know that that is how much you're going to get, and you're working specifically for this amount to get there. But I want you to know that if you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, you want to have financial freedom, you're not going to get it through being an employee. You feasibly could, it's possible, but most people won't. Let's be real, most people won't. It will be very, very hard for you to do that through being an employee. You need to like just work a lot and then save a lot of money, or try and get a high paying job. And all of that is like just a bunch of years of studying and all this sort of stuff, and then hoping that someone picks you and gives you the chance to have this job. It's just not a great system, innit? It's not a great system, and it takes you years to move up to that ladder to get to the point where you actually are making enough money that you have that financial freedom. And I mean, if you want to spend like 20 years dealing with that so that you can maybe have financial freedom, and then spend another 30 years working at that job until you retire and then actually have freedom when you're like 60 or 70 or something, then go ahead and do that, innit? That's your choice. But just know that under capitalism, the odds aren't in your favor, because you work, like you get paid for the amount of hours you have in a day and you're able to work for, and you can't raise the amount of hours that you have in a day. Like, that's just not possible. The only thing that you can do to make more money is either give up more of your time, which eventually becomes something that's not a feasible option, because at some point you're just going to be using so much of your time. You either give up more of your time, which there's a limit to that, or you try and get a higher paying job, which then again you need to, you know, scour the market and hope that someone gives you that opportunity, which, yeah, it depends on how valuable you are, really. And in order to get that high paying job, or get someone to be like, yo, you know, you are worth this much money, let me pay you a nice stack of peas, you need to make yourself valuable. And this is something that most people are not doing. They're not making themselves valuable. Most people, once they leave school, they leave college, they leave the education system, they're done learning. They're done learning, they think they're done, they think they learned enough, and they go into the workplace and they just do that for the rest of their life. That's what most people do. And when you're doing that, you're not really building skills. Now, it depends what you're doing, because you might actually be at a job that forces you to build skills. So yeah, you could build skills there, but generally outside of work and at home and in people's free time, they're not actually building different skills and learning how to do things that actually benefit them in the marketplace. Now, I do want to quickly talk about like low value jobs, low value work. Yeah, because I talked about this on Twitter, I believe, a while ago, maybe probably 2 years ago at this point, but a lot of people didn't really understand it. So I kind of want to put this in this video to like give you an understanding of the concept of why people in certain jobs get paid less and why it doesn't make sense to pay them more. Okay, now when you're living under capitalism, it's all about the free market. That's what it's all about. It's all about what the market decides. The market is our, you know, judge, jury, and executioner, basically. So let's say you're working at McDonald's, yeah? You, as a worker to McDonald's, yeah, if you're just one of the employees that's flipping burgers and whatnot, you are not valuable, yeah? That might sound harsh, it might sound terrible, you might not want to hear it, but you are not valuable to McDonald's, because, yeah, they can get rid of you and replace you with so many more people. The easier it is to replace you, the easier it is to train someone else to have your job, the less valuable you are. You want to put yourself in a position where you bring something to the table, you bring skills to the table, you're able to do things that it would cost that company a lot of money to train someone else to do that. So valuable skills that I suggest everyone to go and get is marketing and sales, because every business needs marketing and sales. If you know marketing and sales, you will live a great life and you will be able to basically create whatever you want and create the lifestyle that you want if you understand marketing and sales correctly and you're able to actually apply it. Other skills, like you can get great skills and stuff, but basically, I as McDonald's can fire you and get a next man to flip burgers within a week. Within 2 days, I can have the next man flipping burgers, yeah? So why should you get paid more? It doesn't make sense. You won't get paid more because I can fire you and get someone else who's willing to work for less so easily. Because in the market out there where people are looking for jobs, there's so many people with low skills, yeah, low value skills. Flipping burgers is a low value skill because it can be earned, like that skill can be earned or learned very, very easily, basically. So out there, it's super easy. Like, it's like the world's my oyster. It's like when people say there are more fish in the sea. If you quit, there's more fish in the sea, cuz there's so many people on the back line that can just replace you in a second because they just want a job in it. So you really have to keep that in mind, and you need to know your place. Yeah, you need to know your place in the company, and you shouldn't have any wild thoughts that you're more valuable than you are to that company. Because when it comes down to it, and when people are getting, made redundant and all that sort of stuff, and the chopping block comes for you, you want to be prepared for that. Like, you don't want to be thinking, what? I thought I was so valuable. Like, why are you getting rid of me? You want to know that you're not that valuable to that company, innit? So understand that. Understand that and make yourself more valuable. Like, you need to understand how valuable you are in order to make yourself more valuable. And I know there's a lot of people online that want to make you feel like you're a special snowflake, and they'll maybe tell you, you know, everyone's unique and great and all that sort of stuff. Okay, whatever, innit? I like to give you the real, innit? I like to give you the real. You might be a piece of shit. You might be a super unvaluable person that's super lazy, innit? That might be the truth, but I think that's very unlikely if you're actually watching this video and you got this far. But there are those types of people out there, and they need to know how valuable they actually are to the market so that they can make educated decisions to make themselves more valuable to the market, getting better skills that people in the market actually value and will pay more for, okay? Like, McDonald's isn't going to pay you a lot of money to flip burgers because they can get 1,000 other people to flip burgers. But if you are able to create their new marketing campaign that gives them like 5% revenue increase or something, I don't know, that might be wild to McDonald's, to be honest. Let's say 1% revenue increase. You are a whole lot more valuable now. Now you can command a lot more for your time. You can ask for a lot more money for your time. So I hope that made sense to you. I don't want to go on this too much, but basically, the way capitalism is set up, or the way I've experienced it, is it favors producers over consumers. And the whole world, yeah, generally is trying to get you to consume. Like, if you turn on the TV, you're getting advertised to. You go outside, you're getting advertised to. You're always being advertised to. People are always trying to sell you stuff. Right about now, I've got a Nitrado t-shirt on. So you might be subconsciously thinking about Nitrado and thinking, maybe I want to get some server hosting over there, which, you know, you should go and do that if that's what you want to do. Just go to jaycartere.com/Nitrado. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, everyone out there is basically trying to get you to consume something. They're trying to get you to buy something. They're trying to get you to consume something. Like, companies win when you are consuming whatever they produce and not producing yourself. Like, that, companies just want more consumers. That is the culture that we live in right about now. It's all about marketing, selling, getting people to buy stuff. Like, once you understand that, you'll see the world in a whole different way, because like every couple seconds someone is trying to sell you something, and that's fine. That's fine if it's something that's useful to you, that will help you out. because people like buying stuff, people like consuming, you enjoy watching 7 episodes of a new series on Netflix. You might as well go to 10 if you watch the 7 episodes, and you might as well finish the season. But you enjoy taking that time to watch Netflix, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just letting you know that you need to be a producer if you want to succeed under capitalism. You need to produce. You need to create something and put it out there. And in this time, in this era, with the internet, with all these opportunities, like, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. You can create something and get it out over a weekend and change your life in like a month. Don't expect that, because it's unlikely, but it's possible. It is possible. It'll generally take, a few... it depends. If you go through like a course which teaches you everything you need to know, then you could learn that and get up and running within a year, basically. But if you're doing this trial and error thing, you're just out there trying to figure out what works, it's probably going to take you a few years to get stuff working and get to the point that you want to be at. But it's like there's so much opportunity with the internet right about now. So much opportunity. You can think of something, put it online, create a website, get it up ready to sell to people, let people know about it. And if it's a good idea and if the market likes it, you can make money in your sleep. You can make money in your sleep and separate yourself from trading your time for money, which is the worst way to live your life. Trading your time for money is terrible. Like, it is not the way I want you to live, because it saps away your freedom and it forces you to trade your time for money. And it's better when you actually are able to separate yourself from the money that you earn, separate your time from the money that you earn. So if you sell a product, like I sell digital products, someone can go on my website and buy that digital product while I'm sleeping. I don't need to then send the product out to them and all that sort of stuff. So once you are able to create automated systems, which you can do with the internet and digital products and all this sort of stuff, then you're able to separate your time from your money, which is very, very advantageous. And that is how you get to creating a life of freedom and being able to do what you want on a daily basis. So you got to become a producer or suffer. Like, you can be a consumer as well, of course. We're all consumers. But those that will win, under entrepreneurship are those who actually produce stuff and put it out into the world. If you're not doing that, then there's no what's the word? I forgot it. If you're not doing that, then it's obvious why you're failing at capitalism, basically. There's no wonder why you're failing at capitalism, because you're not producing anything. You need to produce something in order to sell it to the market, provide it to the market, and then you will reap the benefits of that. If you're not doing that, and you are just in a job, which when you're in a job, you give up all your production rights basically to the company that you're working for, that anything you create under employment is owned by the person that employed you. So you're basically, cutting that opportunity away from yourself. Like, you could produce the greatest thing in the world, you could invent something at work, which I think is highly unlikely. But let's say you invented something at work, that would be owned by your employer, generally depending on your contract. So you need to be able to produce something off your own back. And this is why side hustles and people creating small businesses on the side is becoming so popular in this day and age. It's because people have jobs that aren't really satisfying them in terms of probably revenue and, just personal satisfaction. And they want to do something else. And having a side hustle that you then, move towards making your main hustle is a great way to do that. And that enables you to learn about producing things and putting it out there. Right now, I'm producing a video. I'm creating something that's then going to go out into the market. I'm not charging for it, but I'm creating. And when you create more and you consume less, you'll see your life change drastically, because you start to gain the benefits of creating, and instead of just wasting your time and money on consuming. If you're just a consumer, you're just going to waste time and money. Like, that's all you do. All you're doing is wasting time and money. You're not actually creating more money for yourself, and technically more time, because if you create more money, you buy yourself time, basically, in my opinion. But yeah, as soon as you leave the house, you're spending money. You either have to travel somewhere, or you have to buy gas, or petrol, or whatever. You're spending money as soon as you leave the house. So you got to produce something that allows you to earn money while you're leaving the house and doing that sort of stuff. It's very, very important. So yeah, the world is designed to sell you stuff. If you didn't know already, I'm here to let you understand that. And that's why I love marketing and sales so much, because that is what the world is based on. Once you understand that, you kind of understand the underlying nature of most things in the world, at least in media, because that's what it's all about. But so that is covering, the failure aspect. Let's talk about the compassionate aspect, because some people are like super compassionate and they don't want people to go through hardship and all that sort of stuff. And the biggest mistake with thinking that giving, all our power to the government and hoping that the government will take care of us and make sure that everything's equal is that humans are self-interested. And generally, they want the best for themselves and theirs. Yeah, that is how it works. So if you was to give a group of people ultimate power and say, yo, can you make sure that everything's equal? It's going to be unequal. Like, it's going to end up unequal. Even if you had like the 5 best people in the world and you're like, yo, you deal with the government, innit? You 5 people, you are the 5 most virtuous, honest people in the world. You deal with the government. After a few years, yeah, you're going to get new people in there, innit? And depending on the succession, I don't know how you'd actually deal with that. But eventually, it's going to get corrupted, innit? The system will get corrupted. It's just human nature. Humans are going to act in their own self-interest. That's just the way it works. So if you was to give all the power and try to take it away from the market and try and give it to the government, you're just asking for terrible things to happen, man. You're asking for disaster. I would not want to deal with that at all, because as I said, the corruption is inevitable. It's going to happen. Instead of, people who created something and had smart ideas becoming rich, it's going to be the government. People in the government and the politicians' friends and family and all that sort of stuff. Those will be the people who are eating the caviar and all that sort of stuff. Even if money goes away and it's just the government's like, yo, you got to do this work and you'll get this or whatever. They'll be with their friends, be like, yo, you want some of that caviar that we got last night? I know we're supposed to share it out to the public, but we'll just tell them that we got one less box in it. One less box. No one will notice. Trust me, that sort of shit will be happening in those dark rooms filled with smoke. And relying on the government is just it's a joke. Relying on the government is a fucking joke. Usually I don't swear in these videos, or I try to not, but this is one of my raw videos, isn't it? So I guess we're swearing around here, but it's a joke. Relying on the government is not smart. If you've experienced the government in your life, then you will know that what I'm saying is true. If you try to go deal with the government in any sense, you'll see how inefficient it is and how annoying it is to have to deal with the government, have to deal with people who care about you about as much as you care about them. Like, they don't care about you, you don't care about them. It's not the best thing in the world. It's so inefficient over here, at least. So I'm assuming it's inefficient around the world. But remember, the government's just made up of people, and when people are self-interested and people will inevitably become corrupted, it's just not smart to give the government more power than it already has. That's just not a great thing. And inequality will always exist. And this is a hard thing for people to swallow. But inequality will always exist because there are people putting in an unequal amount of effort. There are people putting in an unequal amount of hard work. There are people who are unequal in terms of their intelligence, unequal in terms of, the situation that they grew up in, unequal in terms of what they want for their lives and what their goals are. Like, people are not equal. We're not born equal. That is a lie. That is a lie. We are not born equal. We're all born in different circumstances, and we just have to play the cards that life dealt us. And once you understand that and you just take it on the chin and you revel in that instead of being like, oh, I wish everything was equal, then you'll be able to create the life that you want to create for yourself. Because instead of sitting around moaning and complaining, you actually take action using the cards that you were dealt and actually move forward with that. And yeah, people aren't equal. Like, just because you give people the opportunity doesn't mean that everyone's going to take that opportunity. I've been around so many people that I've given them opportunities, or I've told them, yo, if you do this, you're going to get this, and this is something that they really, really want, and then they don't do that because they just can't be bothered. Like, there's a lot of people who just can't be bothered. There are a lot of people who are just going to be lazy. There are people who are stupid, to be honest. There are dumb people, and that is just, those are facts. I think the biggest thing that we need to do if we want to combat inequality, because it can be combated, we can make things less unequal. We'll never get rid of inequality because some people just won't want to do the things that are necessary in it. Some people just won't want to do those things. But we can lessen inequality, and I believe the way to do it is through education. It's through teaching people how to win at the game of capitalism. That's why I'm making, these videos. That's why my channel is all focused about creating your business and turning your creative endeavors into a business that actually serves people and brings value to people, so that you can live the life that you want to live and also help other people in the process. Because that is so important, and the education is so important, because when you grow up in poverty around people who are in poverty as well, they have extremely limited knowledge. The stuff that they know kept them in poverty. Let's say that. That can give you an example of the knowledge that they have. Generally, the stuff that they know didn't do much for them because they're still in poverty, innit? And then they teach the stuff that they know to their children, which isn't doing much to upgrade their children and get their children to a point where they know more and they're able to take themselves out of poverty. So it's a big issue. Education is a very big issue that I think needs to be tackled, and I think just that this information needs to be out there because there's so much opportunity. And once you have the education and you see how things work, you can see the opportunity. But when you don't know how things work and you're ignorant to what's going on, you can't see the opportunity the same way. I want to give you an example. It's kind of like if you are, let's say you are, I don't know, what can relate to most people. Okay, let's say you play a game, because I think most people who are in my core audience will probably play games, isn't it? You probably play video games now and then, because that was a big thing that my channel was based around. So let's say you're playing a new game called GTA 7, yeah? Let's do that. You're playing a game GTA 7, yeah? When you start playing it, you're dead at the game, innit? You're terrible because you don't know how everything works. You don't know the buttons. Let's say you never played a GTA game before in your life. But after like 20 hours of playing the game, usually less, but let's say you have 20 hours of playing the game, you start to understand what's going on. You start to understand how the systems work. You understand that if you do this, you're going to be able to earn, $1 million or something over here, so you can buy this property that then helps you make more money or whatever. You're able to understand these things, and now you can see the opportunities. Now, for example, in GTA 5, when Lester gives you an opportunity to assassinate someone, now you understand that you can put money in the stock market in that competition, the company that's competition to the person you're assassinating, basically, or to the company that you're assassinating the CEO of, or whatever. You know what I'm saying, innit? Now you know that you can spend some money there, and that's an opportunity for you, and you can make a bunch back after you complete that assassination mission. When you start playing the game, you have no clue about that. Like, for example, you might have had your first playthrough in GTA 5, or back to GTA 5, no GTA 7 now. You might have had your first playthrough in GTA 5, and you might have just done the Lester assassination missions without investing in the stock market. And that would have been silly, to be honest. Like, obviously, I can't blame you for not having the information at your disposal. But when you look back in hindsight, you're like, I could have done that. I missed the opportunity there. And that is how life is as well. That is how life is. If you don't understand how, certain things work, you won't be able to see the opportunities that are available to you. So it's all about trying to educate people on how things work and the opportunities that are out there, so that you can see them and you can understand that there's so many opportunities out here, especially under capitalism. If you weren't under capitalism, those opportunities would shrink up drastically and you'd be doing what the government tells you to do. If that's the life that you want to live, then fair enough to you. And I don't want to live a life where the government's telling me this is what you got to do in order to get your bread for the week. I don't want to build houses to eat bread. That is dead. Yeah, that's not the life I want to live. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to make money in my sleep, like I'm doing now, and wake up and decide to film a 35 fucking minute long video about capitalism and the benefits of capitalism and why you're wrong about disliking capitalism and hating capitalism because you're failing at it. Like, it's not capitalism. It's not capitalism's fault that you're failing at it. It's the fault of society not educating you and the people around you not educating you and you not making the effort to go out there and educate yourself. But if you're watching this video, then I'm assuming you're the type of person who is out here to educate themselves. So you're the type of person who is trying to gain the knowledge, and you will prosper through doing that. Trust me, you learn enough, you try enough things, you learn what works, you learn what doesn't work, and then you keep on reiterating, and that's how you win the game of capitalism. It is very much like a game, and if you grind it out, like grinding out in an RPG, then you will find yourself leveling up. And I think that's a better system than pretty much anything that's been presented so far. Because everything else that I've seen that's been presented has been like, this would work if we trust a group of people to make sure everything works. And I'm not trusting a group of people to deal with anything. Like, to be honest, we've already dealt with the government. We deal with the government in our daily lives. We know how crappy they are. We know how inefficient the government is. So I'm not the type of person that's like, we need to give more power to the government so the government can save us. The government ain't coming to save you. You need to save yourself. And if you want to discover the 5 most important steps to YouTube success, got a free course in the description. Go to growonyoutube.com/free course. That will help you learn about how to market and how to actually make money through YouTube, using YouTube as a marketing platform to market whatever the hell you want to get out there in the market. And it will open your eyes and your mind up to the opportunities that are available on YouTube. And that's an example of some education that will help open your mind and change what you see when you look at something. Like, when most people look at YouTube, all they're thinking about is, I have to get loads of subscribers, I have to get loads of views, I have to get loads of ad money, because that's how you make money on YouTube. They're not thinking about, I have to create a product, I have to play the long game, I have to rank in search. Like, these are things that people aren't thinking about. So that's why I'm delivering that sort of education, to let you know what opportunities are actually out here, instead of you just looking at the tip of the iceberg that most people look at. They look at the tip of the iceberg, they never actually dig any deeper and do any actual research or learn anything, because, as I said before, people generally stop learning once they exit college and go into the workplace. They think that they're done. So yeah, this video is getting a little long. I didn't expect it to be like a 40-minute video, so I'm gonna end it now. I'm expecting to get loads of dislikes and terrible comments and stuff, but if you leave a toxic comment, I'm just gonna block you, so I don't care. And yeah, this information needs to get out there anyway. The people who resonate with it, the people who it helps, those are the people who I care about. And if you are one of those people, smash that like button, leave a comment down below and all that sort of stuff. Let me know if you don't agree, if you disagree with me and you've got to this part in the video. I want to hear from you. I do want to hear from you. I want to engage in this conversation. Let me know why you dislike capitalism, if it's not the things that I've said in the video. If you feel like you can disprove my comments and all that sort of stuff, do it. Like, I like to debate. I like to debate because I generally don't lose, innit? So get involved. Let me know. Like, if I lose the debate, that would be fucking super interesting to me. So yeah, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on capitalism and, you know, socialism and communism or whatever. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. And as I said before, you know, grab that free course. I think, will I be pointing in the right direction? Maybe. Grab the free course. You'll also be added to my email list where I put out content daily and I drop gems and teach you more about online business and, you know, how I'm approaching everything and the stuff that I'm learning. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely go and sign up. But peace out. This has hit 40 minutes, which is far too long. Like, most people are not going to get to the end of this video. Wow. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one.